Hello everybody, Varun Jonadam this side. 286 days. After 286 days, Sunita Williams and her crew members is back to Earth after a long time journey in ISS.
Very own space girl Sunita Williams is finally back on Earth after being stranded in space for a 9-month mission that was initially meant to last just 9 days. Sunita Williams and Wilmore have safely returned to Earth.
To tell you about ISS, it is International Space Station that has been designed by not just one country, 5 topmost countries includes USA, China, Japan, Canada and Russia. The space organizations of these countries have collaborated all together and designed this particular space station in order to study and do a lot more research about space by means of having a lot more astronauts as well. Alright. Now to tell you about this particular mission that has been handled by Sunita Williams, it is just a trial mission where Starliner, which is the spacecraft that has been designed by Boeing, has been tested by means of Sunita Williams and her other crew members in order to check whether this particular spacecraft is really eligible for the space travel purpose, whether the docking, the undocking, all such things takes place in a proper manner. However, due to a lot of technical issues, the 9-day journey is really delayed to 286 days long. Now the question is, why did SpaceX alongside NASA and Boeing have delayed this journey so far for 9 long months? And number 2, how did astronauts, not just Sunita Williams and her crew members, how did astronauts could able to survive in that particular space station for a longer period of time? And is there any political influence is really involved in this particular space journey? And at last, what is the future advancement of the space journey that we could probably see in upcoming years? These are the important key insights that we are going to discuss in today's video. Let's dive in. Alright, now to start with, NASA has been doing this particular projects for many number of years. In fact, the space projects could be whatever, traveling to moon or traveling to other galaxies, in fact the future plans, whatever. So they seem to have a lot of challenges. First thing is the budgeting. Now to tell you about NASA, they have been totally funded by the US governments, right? So they began to face budgeting challenges, and at the same time, next is regarding the technologies. NASA literally and simply cannot handle all kind of research and development works, all kind of manufacturing processes. So since 2000, 2003, 2004, they began to face severe crisis in terms of finance, in terms of technologies, in terms of scientists and many things. So even from 2011 until 2020, they purely depended on this Russian spacecraft, which is totally cost around $80 million per seat. So Donald John Trump, who came as a president, decided to outsource projects to the private space agencies in USA. So here's where 2 companies comes in. First one is Boeing and next one is SpaceX. SpaceX has been handled by Elon Musk, we all know, right? And coming to Boeing, the big aircrafts, Emirates or Qatar Airways or whatever, those aircrafts has been designed, manufactured completely by Boeing. So these 2 space companies comes in order to support NASA for space travel and other purposes. So SpaceX has been given $2.6 by NASA in order to build a Dragon capsule, and to Boeing $4.2 billion has been given in order to develop CST-100 capsule. So in 2019, the first uncrewed test has been done by Boeing spacecraft. This particular spacecraft has been tested, and this one eventually failed due to a lot of software issues. SpaceX have been quite successful compared to Boeing. So in the year 2024, once again, NASA has decided to give opportunities to Boeing. NASA has really allocated Sunita Williams and Wilmore in order to proceed with this particular testing mission, which is going to be along with CST-100 capsule. So on June 9th, 2024, this particular spacecraft has been launched from Earth, and it has eventually reached the ISS, International Space Station, and docked into the space station as well. So this particular mission is not initiated for any sort of research purpose or any sort of long-term purpose. In fact, just to check whether this particular space travel is quite safe or not, whether it is going to create a very good travel environment for the astronauts. At the same time, how does the docking and the de-docking takes place in the particular ISS, and that is the purpose why this particular spacecraft, Starliner, has been sent alongside Sunita Williams and her crew members to the ISS. However, still the Boeing has begun to find a lot more issues in the spacecraft.
But Boeing has problems that go beyond anything on this planet, quite literally. While its CEO was answering tough questions on Capitol Hill yesterday, its engineers were grappling with issues dealing with their Starliner spacecraft. Since they launched on June 5th in its first crewed test flight, astronauts have navigated several issues, including malfunctioning thrusters and helium leaks, and it's turned their week-long mission into a 3-week stay on the International Space Station.
Now to tell you about the technical issues, before even the spacecraft was launched into the space, it has been delayed and postponed for multiple number of times due to lot of malfunctions and other things. And in the time of travel, in fact the time when the spacecraft was about to reach the ISS, there has been a lot of helium leaks, thrust failures while there was a transit from Earth to space. So helium leakage seems to be another major issue, because helium is nothing but the fuel that is so crucial for the spacecraft to travel from Earth to the space as well. So once again, that also seems to create another major issue for this particular mission. So this eventually made Sunita Williams and her crew members to stay in the ISS and to do the research works as well as to do the maintenance works as well. And in the meantime, it has been severely advised by NASA and Boeing not just to use this particular spacecraft in order to land on Earth. However, days passed, months passed, the mission seems to be incomplete. Still, Sunita Williams and her crew members stuck in that particular ISS for a longer period of time. Alright, now next the question is, how did those people survive in ISS, or what is their actual routine in that particular ISS? So coming to their routines, they need to do a lot of fitness, and next they need to have a lot of dehydrated foods.
It's like opening the refrigerator. You got all your different stuff that you want to have: drinks, meats, eggs, vegetables, cereals, bread, snacks, and that's a good place. That's where you find all the candy. Side dishes, and then some little power bars just in case. So we have all this type of food. Some of it is dehydrated.
And more importantly, they need to do their research works. So coming to other challenges, first thing is there is no gravity. Eventually the people began to float. They won't be able to be in a stable position. So as a result, they don't have any sort of place or position to sit and relax themselves. And next is the density of bones start to become much weaker compared to Earth. So this is once again going to be another risk for them. And the fluids of their body began to travel upwards, so their head really began to have a hell lot of fluids, which is eventually going to blow up their faces. And more importantly, the blood circulation that has been pumped by the heart began to stay in their head as well, and this will eventually make their nervous systems of the eyes to be somewhat critical, and their skins and muscles start to experience a lot more wrinkles compared to Earth as well. And next is the loneliness in space. It literally affects their sleeping patterns, and it also have a lot of mood swings within themselves, in the sense they just don't be same person with the same mentality at one point of time. So these people began to face physical challenges at the same time, mental challenges as well. However, NASA is really being totally aware of it, so they began to give them schedule of what they have to do, the routine that they need to follow. First of all, they need to do a lot of physical activities, lot of physical workouts. Compared to Earth, even in Earth, they have been given a lot of trainings, they have been given a lot of tests in order to, they actually need to pass the physical test in order to move to space. So immense level of fitness test has been already given, immense amount of fitness test has been taken by those people so that they could survive in a lot more better way in space. And next is food. It's totally dehydrated, and it's totally consisted of vitamins, nutrition and calcium. And at the same time, their body, their health has been completely monitored by NASA, and any sort of issues will be immediately sorted out by themselves by giving various precautions and advices. So another thing is that there is always going to be the rotation shift that takes place every 3 months once or 6 months once, depending upon the missions that are about to be accomplished. In fact, 4 members will probably travel from Earth to space. In the meantime, 4 members who was already in the space, they began to come back to Earth. So food, water supplies, there is no problem, because they already have the protocols and precautionary steps that they need to take in order to safeguard the astronauts who is really working in ISS. Alright, and so far there were 72 expeditions that has been done by NASA. In fact, 72 set of crew members have already traveled to space, and they have done the research works and maintenance works and returned back safely. So this seems to be a normal mission for NASA. At the same time, Sunita Williams, who is really experienced astronaut, so they don't have any sort of major issues in this particular mission. They really need to handle this particular space mission in a better level. Alright, so next is really regarding the political issues that has been occurred because of the particular incident. So first thing is, since Donald John Trump's arrival, since he became the president of USA, he began to blame the opposition party, Joe Biden, who is really responsible, because what did he done after making Sunita Williams and her crew members to stuck there for 9 long months?
Even Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore's return have turned into a political showdown in the United States of America. It's Donald Trump hitting out at the former Biden administration as Sunita Williams is set to return. He is alleging that Biden forgot the astronauts in space. Remember the 2 stranded astronauts who were stranded for 9 months at least for what was a 9-day mission. Donald Trump says Biden was incapable of even bringing the astronauts back home.
Why didn't he take any valuable actions at that point of time? And here's where another person comes in, who's none other than Elon Musk. So Elon Musk and Trump seems to be a very good business partners. So both of them, in one interview with Fox, they simply blamed Joe Biden for this particular incident that has been happened. And now the role of SpaceX takes place. And SpaceX is already the second partner of NASA. Here's where Elon Musk takes another valuable step in order to bring back Sunita Williams, Barry Wilson and the other crew members from ISS. So now this seems to be a political issue. Now NASA comes in once again. They simply decline all of it, telling that this is not really regarding Joe Biden or anybody else. This is purely dependent on Boeing, who eventually failed to design the proper spacecraft as they had a lot of technical issues and software issues. So Boeing simply becomes the victim at this point of time for this particular delay as well. Alright, now Elon Musk takes charge and he eventually uses his super rockets, the Falcon 6, in order to initiate the operation to move to ISS and bring back the astronauts. So to tell you about SpaceX and the mission, they are being quite successful by means of carrying the crew members. So the crewed mission has been quite successful, where the members has been taken to space, the docking process, the undocking process, everything has been done and made safely. And as of 2025, there has been more than 13 plus missions that has been accomplished successfully by SpaceX. So now SpaceX takes charge and they began to initiate the proceedings with Falcon 6. So as a result, this particular mission was about to initiate on 13th of March 2025. However, it has been delayed due to a lot of technical issues, and within a couple of days, on 15th of March, this mission has been once again initiated. The Falcon 9 rocket has been launched from the Earth, taking the Crew Dragon capsule. And to tell you about the Crew Dragon capsule, it has the capability of taking up to 4 astronauts quite comfortably. So they began to start this particular mission alongside 4 other crew members, including Annie McLean, Nikoli Ayers, Takula Hoshini, who is from Japan, Kirill Poshov, who is from Rosmoscos, Russia. So these 4 people as a crew members joined this particular space mission and they began to travel and leave the Earth to ISS. So after 29 long hours, exactly at 9:40 a.m. Sunday, this particular spacecraft has been docked into the ISS, and the members who was already in space, the ISS, they began to cheer up and welcome each other. Since then, Sunita Williams began to give beautiful statements to media, telling that we are coming back. Until then, no plans. And even Barry Wilmore, once again, he shows gratitude to Elon Musk and Donald John Trump at that point of time. After some period of time, the duties has been exchanged and clearly it's been communicated of what duties yet to be continued by the other crew members. The communication have taken place properly. And then Sunita Williams, Barry Wilson and other crew members, they started to take proceedings in order to return back to Earth. So as a result, on March 18, 10:35 a.m. Indian Standard Time, the undocking took place, and on 19th of March 2025 at 4:27 a.m., the spacecraft has been successfully splashed down in the sea. So Sunita Williams is back to Earth after 288 long days. So immediately they can't be able to walk all of a sudden because the gravitational force is quite different in space and quite different in Earth as well. So they began to face challenges. At the same time, a proper medication has been given to them, and more importantly, within 2 or 3 days they began to be normal. The blood circulation, the bone density began to go to the normal stage as well, and finally within a month they will be united with their family members. Now moving to the last part of the episode, which is the future of the space tourism and space travel. NASA and many other space agencies, not just NASA, the Russian space agency or Japanese space agency, those space agencies has been completely funded by government. They have limitations. They cannot just ask for additional fundings to the government. Now coming to the private companies, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, who are really multi-billionaires, they are really planning to innovate the space journey at much better level. In fact, Jeff Bezos is already planning to create his own ISS in space by means of Blue Dragon company. So Elon Musk is already planning to go to Mars. So these people could probably innovate the space travel in much better level. Now, how international tourism was famous nearly 50 years ago, now recently the space journey and the space travel, the space tourism is going to create a new level of interest for the people in future. So concluding, space journey is not an easy task at all. Be it an astronaut or R&D engineers, research and development engineers need to do a hell lot of jobs because safety is the first priority. The designing, the manufacturing is quite challenging. Alright, so that is what I need to convey in this episode. So any sort of doubts or clarifications, once again, comment below. Any sort of new insights, once again, you can comment below. Alright, Until then, see you in next video. Bye bye for now.